Ask around any marina, and you'll hear the same quiet story over and over. Someone sold their trawler, and within a year they wished with everything they had that they hadn't. It's one of the most common regrets in all of boating. People give up the boat for what seems like a good reason at the time, and then the reality hits. And it's too late. The boat's gone, the prices have moved, and that life on the water they spent years building just ended. In this video, I'll show you 7 trawlers that owners regret selling more than almost any others, and exactly why. So if you're even thinking about selling yours, watch this first, because number 1 is the one people say broke their heart. Let me explain why this regret is so common, because it catches almost everyone by surprise. People don't sell their trawler because they've stopped loving it. They sell for a reason that feels responsible in the moment. Money's a little tight, a health scare rattles them, the kids say the boat's too much, or they just talk themselves into being sensible. So they let it go, and for a few weeks, they feel fine about the decision. Then the first beautiful morning comes, and they realize they have nowhere to go. The freedom is gone, the community at the dock is gone, and when they finally admit they want back in, they discover the hard truth. The good boats hold their value, so buying back in costs more than they sold for, sometimes a lot more. That's the trap. Selling is easy and quick. Getting back what you gave up is slow, expensive, and sometimes impossible. So let's go through the 7 boats owners regret selling the most, and let their mistakes save you from making the same one. Starting at number 7. Number 7, the Main Ship 34. This is the boat people sell to be smart with money and regret almost immediately. The Main Ship 34 is affordable, simple, and cheap to run, so when someone decides to tighten their budget, it looks like an easy thing to let go. But here's what they don't count on. This boat wasn't costing them much to begin with. It sipped fuel, the maintenance was simple, and the slip was the biggest expense. None of it was really breaking the bank. So they sell it, save a little money, and then spend the next year staring at the water with nothing to take out on it. The freedom they gave up was worth far more than the small amount they saved. And because these boats are popular and hold steady value, buying another one later costs about the same as what they sold it for. So the smart money move turns into a pure loss of a year on the water for almost no financial gain. The lesson: before you sell to save money, add up what the boat actually costs you. It's usually less than you think. The next one is sold for a reason that feels even more logical and hurts even more. Number 6, the Ranger Tug R27. People sell this one because they convince themselves it's too small, and then discover it did absolutely everything they needed. The R27 is compact, efficient, easy for one person to handle, and cheap to own. But at some point, the owner starts dreaming bigger and trades it for something larger and grander. And that's when the regret sets in. The bigger boat costs more to run, more to dock, more to insure, and suddenly needs 2 people to handle safely. The little Ranger Tug that they thought was too small was actually the perfect boat. Easy, affordable, and something they could use anytime, alone, without stress. A lot of owners end up wishing they'd kept the simple boat that let them go out on a whim instead of the big one that turned every trip into a project. The lesson: small and easy beats big and impressive more often than you'd think, especially as the years go on. The next boat's regret isn't about size or money, it's about losing a whole way of life. Number 5, the Monk 36. This one gets sold when someone decides to move back to land, and it costs them something money can't buy back. The Monk 36 is a beloved liveaboard with that big sun deck and comfortable space that made it a real floating home. But it's not just the boat people lose when they sell it. It's the entire life that came with it. The marina community, the neighbors' 2 slips down, the sunset gatherings, the shared coffee in the morning, the feeling of being part of something. People sell the Monk thinking they're just changing houses, and then they find themselves in a quiet place on land, cut off from the friends and the rhythm that made their retirement feel alive. That's the regret you hear most from former liveaboards. Not "I miss the boat," but "I miss who I was on the boat." The lesson: If your trawler is your home and your community, understand that selling it means leaving both. The next boat is one people sell in a moment of fear and almost always regret when the fear passes. Number 4, the Nordic Tug 32. This is the boat people sell after a health scare and regret the moment they feel better. It happens like this: something goes wrong, a scare in the family, a bad checkup, and in that frightened moment, the boat suddenly feels like too much. So they sell it fast to simplify their lives. But here's the thing: most of the time, the scare passes. They recover, life stabilizes, and they're left standing on the dock, realizing they gave up their boat over a fear that didn't come true. And the Nordic Tug is especially painful to lose because it holds its value so well that buying another one back costs real money they didn't expect. The lesson, and this is an important one: don't make a permanent decision in a temporary moment of fear. If health is the worry, there are gentler options. Hire help, cruise closer to home, take a season off. Selling the boat should be the last resort, not the first reaction. The next 3 are the boats people regret selling most of all, the true heartbreakers. Number 3, the Grand Banks 42. This is a boat people sell and then watch in disbelief as it becomes worth more than they got for it. The Grand Banks 42 is a legend. That solid hull, that gorgeous teak, that timeless design. And it's famous for holding and even growing in value while everything else depreciates. So when someone sells one, usually in a soft moment or under pressure, they don't just lose the boat. They lose an appreciating asset and a piece of craftsmanship that simply isn't made anymore. A year later, they go looking to buy back in, and the prices have climbed, and the really clean examples are gone, snapped up by people who know exactly what they're worth. And that irreplaceable feeling, the wood, the history, the way it turns heads at every dock, you can't get it back at any price on a modern boat. The lesson? Some boats are legions for a reason, and legions don't come back cheap. Think very hard before you let one go. The next boat is the one that ends dreams when it's sold. Number 2, the Kadey-Krogen 42. This is the boat people sell and then spend years trying and failing to replace. The Krogen 42 is a true ocean-capable passage maker that's also comfortable, efficient, and sea-kindly. The rare boat that can genuinely take you anywhere while sipping fuel and keeping you safe. For a lot of owners, it was the dream boat, the one they always wanted. And then they sell it. Maybe they think their long-distance cruising days are behind them, and later realize those days weren't over at all. But now the dream boat is gone, and finding another Krogen in that condition at a price that makes sense turns into a search that can take years. Owners describe it as selling the boat that was going to take them around the world and never getting that chance back. The lesson: if you own the boat that can fulfill your biggest dream, don't sell it because you assume the dream is finished. Make sure it actually is. Which brings us to number 1. The boat people say breaks their heart to sell more than any other. Number 1, the Nordhavn 40. This is the boat owners regret selling more than any other on this list. And once you understand what it represents, you'll see why. The Nordhavn 40 is the little boat that can cross oceans, the one that proved a properly built 40-foot trawler can go literally anywhere in the world and bring you home safe. When you own one, you're not just holding a boat. You're holding the key to unlimited freedom, the ability to point the bow at the horizon and just go. So when someone sells a Nordhavn 40, they're not selling fiberglass and diesel. They're selling the biggest dream a boater can have. And these hold their value so fiercely that buying back in is brutally expensive, if you can even find one for sale, because owners tend to keep them for decades. People who let one go describe a specific kind of heartbreak. The day they handed over the keys, they knew they'd probably never own that kind of freedom again. That's why it's number 1. The lesson of this whole video lives right here. Some boats aren't just possessions, they're possibilities. And once you sell the possibility, it's almost impossible to buy back. So before you sell the boat that can take you anywhere, be very, very sure you're truly done going places. So there they are. 7 trawlers owners regret selling the most, and the hard lessons behind every one. And if there's a single thread running through all of them, it's this: people almost never regret keeping their boat, but they very often regret selling it. The reasons to sell feel urgent and logical in the moment: money, fear, age, being sensible. But the freedom, the community, and the dream you give up are worth far more and cost far more to get back than most people realize. So if you're standing at that crossroads, take your time now. A lot of people sell because they're afraid they can't handle the boat alone as they get older. But that's often not true if you have the right boat. So I made a whole video on the trawlers one person can safely handle even after 65. It's right here, and it might just be the reason you never have to sell at all. And if you want more straight talk like this, subscribe, because the boat that changes everything for you might be in the next video. I'll see you there.